accomplishments. Hmm. Gully cricket championship. Hobbies, watching TV. My brother.
I feel like I'm losing my mind.
I'm going to stop you right there. You don't have to write every single detail about your life on your resume. Here are tips on how to write a precise and neat resume that includes details about your actual accomplishments, knowledge, and skills. Okay, first off, should I write a CV or a resume? A CV is a lengthier version of your resume. Usually for freshers, a resume is the most preferable since they have no working experience. A resume usually is single-paged or two if you have some working experience. Avoid writing lengthy paragraphs. A resume has to be clear and to the point. Use bullet points and keep it neatly aligned. Every line and every part of your resume should be neatly aligned. Use resume builders to build a professional-looking resume. And do not eat up the white space. White space is very important for the resume to look tidy, so do not be hell-bent on just filling up all the space. Many companies use applicant tracking systems to screen resumes, which search for keywords related to your job while selecting a resume. So don't forget to include keywords related to your job. For VFX animation jobs, most generic keywords are deadline management, production pipelines, project management, attention to detail, problem solving, and words related to your specific job role. I'll be showing you how to use keywords in your resume at the end, so you can skip to the timestamp if you want. Objectives or summaries in resumes are becoming obsolete with time. What exactly is an objective, you ask? An objective is a summary that's written at the very beginning of your resume, which includes your goals, aspirations, what you're looking for in a job, and how you can be an asset to the company. As I mentioned, it has become outdated, but if you do want to include, try to squeeze it down to 1 or 2 lines. Avoid any typing errors. Typing errors in a professional resume gives out a very immature outlook on the candidate. At all costs, avoid typing errors and grammatical errors. Proofread a lot of times. Take the help of online spell check tools. Using infographics like these that tell how much percentage of the software you know is like digging your own grave. Just mention the software. Your knowledge will be tested in the technical rounds. Well, this is not a modeling assignment, is it? So unless it's required by the companies, you don't have to put your perfectly shot DSLR high saturated picture on your resume. Trust me, the companies are more interested in your work. Use 1 or a maximum of 2 colors in your resume. Do not make it look like a flyer to a kebab chili restaurant. Your resume should look professional. The same goes with typefaces. Do not use 100 different types. 1 or a maximum of 2. And avoid script or handwritten typeface. Your education or your work experience should be written with your latest information first. If you just finished your college, put that under education. And you do not need to mention every single school or college you went to. Just mention your latest education. Refrain from mentioning anything related to school. They don't need to know you got a first prize in a drawing competition in your 7th standard. The same goes for your address. They only need to know the city you're in so that they can see if you'll have to shift cities to work. So do not post your door number and pin code. Follow the traditional resume dimensions. Do not send a 4K, 2K or an HD. Most online resume builders come with traditional dimensions, so make use of that. Nobody has the time to copy paste. If you are including any links to your portfolio or demo reel, use clickable links. When they open your resume in a PDF format, they can directly click on the link in your PDF to reach your site without having to copy and paste. Do not write 100 job roles in your resume. If you are applying as a lighting artist, only write things related to that role and software related to that role. Your resume should be job specific unless you're going for a functional resume, which I do not recommend. Keep updating your resume. As important as it is to write a good resume, it's equally important to keep updating it every now and then. So save that Photoshop file or bookmark that website for updates. No matter how tempting it may feel like to include every single achievement in your life on your resume, refrain from doing a verbal vomit and keep it to the point. Proofread your resume several times as silly mistakes like typos may give out a bad impression. To impress the recruiter, your inner devil might want you to keep adding skills or talents that you have no idea about. This will bite you in the later on, so don't do it. So let me show a sample resume with everything we talked about now. So here we have two resumes with work experience and one without any work experience for a fresher. Before this, I'm just gonna show you something. Yeah. So this is what not to do when you're writing a resume. Do not make it look like an artistic something. Do not use colors in your font. Just use black. Do not use icons. Some people are using these softwares icon to represent what software they know. That is fine as long as they have like tiny icons, not really big. As long as it doesn't look dirty, doesn't look messy, it's fine. But I would advise not to use them in the first place. You can just write down the name of the software. Don't really lean towards infographics, usage of infographics in a resume. I'd like to keep it very simple, and that is how I'll advise you guys to go. You can use these things, like see how nice and aligned it is. These are infographics too, and I don't mean by these, but using a lot of icons for every single thing. That's just lines and borders and everything. I don't really recommend doing that. So yeah, don't do this at all. Emojis and let's go and check out a resume that looks good and is easy on the eye. Yeah, so this is a sample resume. I did this in Canva, and you can use Canva. You don't have to go and search for 100 different resume builders. Like Canva has a lot of templates, so you can just use that. I use that. I'm gonna minimize, zoom out and show you how it looks. First, let us go through the look of the resume, then we'll go with every section. So let's just look at this one first. Okay, so this is our resume, and look how clean it looks. The colors are not too shabby. The typefaces are not too many. I have not used any kind of script or handwritten typefaces, and you can see how neatly aligned it is. You can see the white space. Don't forget the white space, guys. White space is your friend. And if I drew a line from here to the bottom, I'll get a straight line. I won't even need a ruler. That's what I mean when I say neatly aligned. And there's enough space between different sections so that it looks like they are different sections. And the headings are all uppercase and everything else is lowercase. Things that need more than one sentences are written in bullet points neatly. So just the look that you get when you open this and when you take a first look at it, the look that you get is a very clean and neat, and it's very pleasant to look at, very light on the eyes. The readability, most important, and the colors are very pleasant. They are not very flamboyant or nothing that takes you by surprise. And I'd suggest to stick to black when you're writing your resume. Black as in for the text, and you can use some really pastel or some good colors that aren't really hard on the eye. And you can find a lot of templates. You can filter them by simplicity and minimalism. So yeah, that is the look of the resume we are going for. Looks professional, doesn't look tacky anywhere. So now let's jump into the sections. So we'll obviously start with the name. So I've just used a placeholder, first name, last name. And under that you'll write the designation: lighting artist, FX artist, animator, modeler, roto artist. And then you have your contact details. This is your phone number followed by your email ID and then your address. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, you can simply mention your city and the country. That's it. You don't have to mention anything more. This also mentions street, but you don't really have to mention the street. I mean, this is a sample Canva format. Just mention if you're in Delhi, you can mention Delhi, India, Bangalore, India, like that. So don't go more than this. No need to mention your door number and everything. This is where you will put your portfolio or your Vimeo, your YouTube, your demo reel links and everything. And yeah, so notice how this is changing into a hand. So this is what I meant by using clickable links in your PDFs. When I click this, it takes me to a website, which would be your portfolio website. So you can do that in Canva itself. Let me just show you. I know you guys are smart, you can figure it out, but let me just
show you quickly how it's done. So I'm just gonna do it on this one. Yeah, so when you right click on this, you'll get something like this link, and you can even use the shortcut. Enter your link, the link to your demo reel or portfolio, whatever it is. Just copy paste the link from the browser. Don't type it in like I'm doing, because you may accidentally type in a different letter or something else. So just copy paste your links here, and then that's it. See, it gets an underline, so that showcases that your link has been added. So that was that. Next is your education. As I've mentioned earlier, only include your latest education. Do not include anything from your school, or you will start by including the name of your university or college or institute. Location is needed, not needed, it's up to you. And the duration, the time period you have studied there, name of the course or the degree that you pursued in the said university. If you also did any coursework in addition to your university or your degree, you can include that also. You can just put another section here called coursework or courses, and then include the courses you did. The next section is awards and certification. So I've just mentioned a few. Whatever certifications you have, you can mention those with the year and use bullet points. So the normal way that we write is first letter is uppercase and the rest are lowercase, right? So most of the times when you're typing in a hurry, sometimes it gets overlooked. So take care of that too. It's a basic common thing, but it sometimes gets overlooked when you're typing fast or go unnoticed. So just take care of that. So a lot of people have queries on if they can include online course certifications in their resume. I've seen most people include them, but I'd say not all certifications online are recognized. So if you really want to include some certifications in your resume, include those that are coming from a recognized university or a recognized organization, that are valid, the certificates that are really valid and that are legit. And same goes for any competitions or contests that you have participated in, if you want to include them in this section. If the competitions or contests are at a bigger level, at a bigger platform like state or national level, then it's then you can include it. But if it's just like a in-house, or you've won the best graphic design in your class, I mean, that is something you should be proud of if you won the best graphic designer award in your class. But that on a professional level, you don't need to include that on your resume as a fresher. That sums up awards and certifications. And then coming to technical skills, so you can mention your software that you learned and any other skills like scripting, or you can just go with this kind of format. I've mentioned just skills and I've written all of these, and there's a separate section for software. If you don't like to mention it this way, technical skills and soft skills separately, you can go for this. Let's go to objective or summary. Observe how this only has a single line. What I was talking about when I said that keep your objective as short as possible. You can add one more line over here, just that's it. Don't like use up all the space. And yeah, keep in mind the use of white space. You would be tempted to fill in these gaps because there are like gaps out here, I want to fill these, it looks so empty. Don't do that, because when a person looks at your resume, like look at this zoomed out, look how tidy it looks with all the white space. So if you're filling in all those things, at first glance it looks so messy that the person wouldn't even want to consider reading it. So we don't want that, right? It should be lighter on the eyes, should be good on the eyes, pleasant on the eyes. So yeah, that was for the objective. And also when you're writing objective, do not write in first person. What do I mean by writing in first person? Writing in first person is when you're writing, for example, here it says to secure a challenging position in the field of VFX, right? Writing in first person is I want to secure a challenging position in the field of VFX. If you're including those pronouns, I, me, us, like that, don't do that. Don't do that ever in the whole resume, not just objective. So instead we'll write something like this: to secure a challenging position in the field of VFX and blah blah blah. So if you really want to so you can just find these different kinds of objectives online. Just online you'll find a lot of them, and you can just tailor it according to your job role, or you can just think a bit and you can use your own words. You can use your own words and make an objective summary of your own. Just put in some thought and write something on your own. Then we have projects. Remember, we are doing this for a fresher resume, so it has projects and no work experience. So by projects I mean like any multimedia projects that you have done in your course time or away from the course time, anything. So I've just mentioned a short film project here, so you'll mention what the project is, project's name, and if there are any other details like short film project from a film festival. So I've mentioned the name of the film festival and the year. So you'll mention the name of the project, the company or what, or any organization that you did it for, or something like that, and the year. And then this is the most important thing, guys. This is where you will write what you actually did in the project. So what was your role in the project? And this is also where you'll use keywords. So when I said that I'll be explaining on how to use keywords, yeah, this is the exact moment where I'm doing that. So yeah, this is where you will be using action words as in verbs like created, responsible for, designed, animated. And for example, in this short film project, what I've written is created a 2-minute short film using 3D animation and VFX techniques. So in this we are using an action verb, and we are using keywords such as 3D animation related to that job role or related to the industry itself, VFX techniques, modeling, texturing, lighting and compositing. All of these are keywords. So you can even add like some extra points depending on what roles you did in while working on that project, all the hats that you wore. So next I've mentioned another project for motion graphics project 2023. Just mention the year here. You can even mention the industry or whatever organization, or you can just leave it with the year and month that you worked on. So what I've written is designed and animated a 30-second motion graphics video for a local business using After Effects. Again, keywords, After Effects, motion graphics, animated, designed, all of these keywords. So yeah, and soft skills are keywords too. Teamwork, time management, communication, attention to detail, all of these are keywords pertaining to the industry, to the VFX animation industry, and to the specific job roles. So yeah, and you can even add anything else you want. Like, you don't have to stick to only these things. If you think that there's something that is worth sharing on your resume, but don't like mention the gully cricket competition that you won or something like that. So we are only mentioning some serious good achievements on our resume. So yeah, you can add up if you want. If there are like some good things to include, you can add another page and mention a few. And I think that is it for the fresher resume. And yeah, if you also have like an internship, even that comes under work experience. So you can even add that, like put another section, work experience. And even if you have like a 1 month or 2 month internship, then you can add that too. That is good actually if you have an internship. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the skills section. Remember the bars I told you about? Please do not put those that show like how much percentage of a software so take care of that when you're typing in here. Also, one more tip to write keywords is when you're checking the job posting, the job requirement, when you look at that, you'll find a few keywords in the job posting itself. You can also incorporate those. That's a tiny hack that you can use. And let's move on to resume for someone with some work experience. So everything is almost the same, except for I've changed the skills and software section here, and instead of what we have here, awards and certifications, we have achievements. So I've written it in bullet points. Everything else is the same. And coming to work experience, so this is the latest work experience of this person. So okay, how do we write work experience? Let's go with the template. First thing is your designation. So why did I write designation here again, even if I have mentioned it again? Because designations may change. See, it says junior VFX artist here and it says VFX artist here. Maybe you were an intern at some other company, then you will write VFX artist intern in the brackets. So yeah, designation, the company that you worked in, and the time duration. When I write present here, if you're in the same job at the moment when you're sending this resume, that's when you'll use present. If you're unemployed at the moment when you're sending this resume, then you'll have to mention the month and year of your last working time period. Like if you have worked in this company till maybe April of this year, so then you'll mention April 2023 here. And this is the role and all the work that you did. Again, action verbs: created, implemented, worked, collaborated, that's a good word, developed, achieved. So when you're using words like collaborated and teamwork, it shows your capability of working in a team, which is something that a lot of recruiters are keen on. So yeah, as I mentioned, action verbs, right? Assisted, and it also has all the keywords: VFX elements, streamlining workflow, client satisfaction. And after this, I have mentioned another previous work experience, the designation, company name, time period, and the work that I've done, or this person, whoever, first name, last name, whoever the first name, last name person has done. So yeah, if you have a few more companies that you want to include, you can add another page and write down more work experience. So yeah, I think I've covered most things in a resume. So I think I've covered most of it. But if I've forgotten something, or if you have any doubts, use the comment section to remind me and ask your queries. And that is it. I'm guessing covered most important things. So yeah, please keep in mind all of these things when you're writing your resume, and pay attention when you're writing it for typing mistakes, spelling mistakes, and everything. And don't waste time on deciding the color, deciding the font and everything. Just use a simple resume builder and just start typing in. And also double check before sending, double check if your link is working or not. And what else, I guess that's it.
So those are some tips you should religiously follow while crafting your resume. That's all I have for this video. I'll see you again with another informative video. This is CG Vidyarthi signing off.